I am a vicious, fanatical patriot. I believe that America is the best hope for any chance of human beings treating each other more humanly on earth. That's what I believe. Leonard Small, I was born September 3rd, 1950, here in Savannah. Grew up in a very, very socially conscious environment. My mother's now 100 years old. Friends of my family are like W.W. Law, Joe Lowry, Andy Young, Hosea Williams. Hosea Williams, he would sit and talk to my mom about the movement, and I'd be in the corner just sucking it in. Did my first direct action when I was about 10 or 11 years old. They were running out of people who would do the picketing. Cousin, we called him Cousin Macon. His name was Macon C. Chisholm. He decided he'd get even a little young Leonard, who always was curious about NAACP and civil rights. I tell you what, I give you 50 cents a day if you walk the picket line. Yes, sir, I'm good.
Your help, you be doing a great thing for this nation.
We were marching up and down in front of Bargain Corner on Bay Street. I had a white sign with writing on it on my front and my back with a leather strap holding. It was a wooden sign. So on the second day down there, a white lady pulled up next to the curve with her maid sitting in the back seat. And the white woman was saying, "Here, take this list and go in there." And the black lady said, "I can't." And she said, "Oh, yes, you can." She said, "Take this list and do what I tell you." You know, she was really indignant. The black lady said, "We're picketing and we're boycotting that stuff. I can't go in there." She cursed her and said, "If you don't go in there and get what I tell you, you could get out my car and you're fired." That lady took her time slowly. She stepped on that curve, white maid uniform, and stood there like this. And even at 10, I knew she needed that job bad. And she watched that woman drive off, and she stood there in her dignity, and her eyes were red, and her face full of tears. And at 10, I knew what that meant. My cousin came the next morning to pick me. I told him, "You ain't got to pay me." And then when I was 12, we were protesting the fact that they would not allow blacks to be ever cashiers or bag people for bagging groceries and stuff. And we went and marched down to Talmadge Bridge, laid down in front of Talmadge Bridge, 3,000 of us. We were on the Huntley Brinkley Island and on Walter Cotton. We made national news, and we been coached in nonviolent civil disobedience. So we wasn't going to fight, but they told Hosea and Ben Clark they were our leaders, but they needed to get up and walk because they would beat them up. When they got to the paddy wagon, a motorcycle cop, they used to wear these long black boots. As Hosea stepped up, that cop kicked him as hard as he could. He turned slowly and looked at him, and then stepped on up into that wagon. A couple of years ago, I was doing a protest about the fire tax downtown that I thought would more negatively impact the poor and the downtrodden and the disenfranchised. And I looked up, and here comes my grandson. He's 11. Remember now, I was 10 when I started. He's 11 at the time. My son-in-law, my daughter, my granddaughter, and they're coming down there to take a sign and walk a line.
Your Honor, I've been asked to address some comments the other day. The court hasn't asked me to do that.
I'm the blackest preacher, psychologically, sociologically, economically. God and I are friends. If we were friends, there must be something other than just racism. There is a thing called variations and degrees. And some people are venomously racist. Some people are unconsciously racist. And if you say, "Okay, you're racist," they go, "Ah!" Here's the thing with him. He became a public defender. I was called down to Brunswick when they fired him. That's when I met him. black leaders in the community told me the story. He would take cases to court. He is a consummate litigator. If he feels like he's got the goods, he will fight like it's his own child. And he came up to me after the damn minute. He said, Reverend, they tell me you can work things out. What can you do for me? I said, we're going to lose. He said, huh? I said, we're going to lose. I said, you're going to lose this job. And there's nothing we can do about it. Well, what do you think? I said, well, calm down now. The reason you're losing the job is because you were fighting for people. So this is what I'll do. You're going to go in private practice, but I'm promising to get you between $3,000 and $5,000 worth of clients every month for the next 2 years. He said, huh, you can do that? I said, of course I can do that. That's easy. He went to private practice. He transitioned. We were able to do better than that in terms of helping him. Kevin has been the legal director for years of a thing that a friend of mine out of Florida, Clayton Coward, Apostle Clayton Coward, founded called the Poor Minorities Justice Association. From its onset, Kevin became the legal director and fought cases and things for poor and minority people. That means white people who were poor, also and principally black folk. In the midst of him having a successful legal career, he's over here working for chump change, gas money, okay? And the only reason we're giving him gas money is because I wouldn't not give him something, because then I wouldn't be contributing. We've been able to see him take those consummate skills he has and fight for a young lady who's living over here in Bayview to get her children back. The fact that we get smoke thrown up in our face, that people play the poor against the rich, the black against the white, and end up they in power and we're in peril of each other, that makes no sense to me. We're doing this interview at the Litway Missionary Baptist Church, and I am a Baptist preacher with a Pentecostal persuasion. I'm not a good Democrat. I don't fit in any category really well. I don't believe in same-sex marriage. I don't believe in open abortion. Oh yeah, okay, and yes, and I am a Democrat. There's certain Republicans also who think that what happened at the Capitol was wrong. Why can't we agree on some things? So I don't see how you can buy everything from any group. It is important to me to establish the fact that people need to learn how to think, analyze, fact find. It is almost impossible to subject your will without any rebuttal on a people that are informed.